Welcome back, Sports This Morning on Channels Television. You can be part of the program on Twitter, Channels_Sports, Facebook, Channels IFA Sports. We're reviewing sports in 2018, and of course, taking a look at what we should expect in 2019. So, Toby, let me start with you. 2019, finally, 2019 is here. What are your expectations?
I think for the Falcons, I think going into the World Cup in France, I finally want to see them, show what they can at that level. They've done it time and time again. I think winning the African Women Cup of Nations about 10 times, if not, I think it's time to do something great in the World Cup. Probably get to the semi-final stage, the finals. Probably leave the trophy. I'm going all out. We've got a really young squad, and they are extremely talented, and going forward they can score lots of goals, So I'm thinking, why not, even in the defense, the likes of Onome, fantastic tournament he had in the Nations Cup, and I'm thinking, why not go all out in the World Cup and do more than the group stage?
Larry, it's a lot of expectations for sports if you look at it. You mentioned the World Championships for athletics. Yes. He just mentioned the Women's World Cup. There will be the AFCON. Yes, so I'm thinking he wants the Falcons to go beyond the group stage at the World Cup. I think the Super Eagles have what it takes to win the AFCON this year. I also think we might just see another shocking winner in the EPL. What are expectations?
Very, very true. If we are to look at what will happen in the summer in 2019, while the Super Falcons will be in France trying to make it out of the group stage, and let's note that all the teams in that group are well above them in terms of ranking. I'm talking about female football now, which is why, your dream of them getting to the final is what it appears to be, a dream. But, well, we need to first of all dream before it can come to reality. But at the same time, simultaneously, the Nations Cup will also be going on. I don't know if it's going to be in Egypt or Cameroon. And here is where NFF need to have project managers now. One team dedicated to the French trip, and then the other to AFCON. There's no need.
I'm sure you know the minister's team is going to France.
All right, so the minister's team will definitely be in France. You guys in Nations Cup, go and do your own bit. I'm concerned about my girls. He's said that already. But also at that same time is the Copa America is also going on that same summer, and then the World Championship thereafter, and of course EPL. We will expect that Liverpool should, having considered just 8 goals in 20 games. Give it or take, even if they concede 10 more goals or 12 more goals in the last 18 games, they will still be there or thereabout.
But they better be winning.
They better be winning, and then Manchester City will also have a say because they are defending champions. Beach football as well. Abu Aziz and his team have qualified for Paraguay. So the minister has a lot on his hands already, and he doesn't just want to entertain men's football as it were.
I know, because Nigeria is just so big of a country to just say we're just football. We can do so much more. Because if you bring somebody now and say, South Africa, what are they known for? This group will say rugby. Another group will say cricket. Another group will say athletics. One will say swimming. And you've not got football. There you go. So let's go back to the concluding part of that interview with the minister. And we asked him straightforward, what are the plans for 2019?
2019, I believe that we should do better. In doing better, infrastructural update should be cardinal in 2019. The development of athletes, training and the training of athletes in preparation of Olympics in 2020 is a priority in 2019. Competition for qualification by national federations is also a priority in 2019. And like I said, there is going to be an all stakeholders meeting. This is not the communique writing meeting, no. We need speakers on funding of sport to come and educate us, at least in a 2 or 3 day seminar, so that we can appreciate. They will bring test case of other climes and present it to us. They will also use our local peculiarity. I mean, there are better ways we can even develop in sport. Let me give you an example. During the National Sports Festival, traditional sports has the highest audience. Traditional sports. They have the highest. Langa, Kukua, Dembe, the audience were incomparable to any. This is because these are indigenous sports. Our people know it. It's what they grow up with in their various societies. So the people know it. Now, we need to develop these sports to modernize them. If you go to Japan, their traditional wrestling now has been standardized and is accepted internationally. Dembe, the gloves used to be traditional, where you have cloth tied with rope now. Now it has been modernized. It's one-hand glove. Medical science has also been imported into it. That is progress. So I think if state governments just develop interest, one state just, okay, pick like cocoa and invest in it, it is going to make it has huge tourist potential, and people will come all over the world to watch. Let me tell you what Bayelsa had done. Bayelsa had owned wrestling. Today, every young person in Bayelsa does not talk about any sport except wrestling. Now, in a federation, that is the beauty of a federation. Yobe and Niger has owned hockey. One of the best female teams we have in Nigeria is found in Yobe. Volleyball, some states have also developed interest. So out of the 44 national federations we have, states should begin to look at their areas of comparative advantages and develop in them. Then you will discover that if you come to National Sports Festival, there are some areas that will be no-go areas. Whether you compete with them, you will not win. Now in swimming, there are about 8 medals. Wrestling has 30. Football has 1. So if you put 10 billion in going to the World Cup in football, even if you win only 1 medal. If you go to Olympics and invest that half of 1/3 of that money, let's say 3 billion, in wrestling, out of the 30 medals, you are going to harvest like 10. And your position on the medal table will not be the same. So we have not gotten our priority right. If we are going for international competition, we invest where we have no prospect. These attitudes have to change, narrative have to change. Above all, go to the office. I challenge you to go to the office of the Inspector General of Police and ask him of the crime rate from 6th to 10th December. It went down because of the National Sports Festival. This is practical. So why are governors taking huge amount of money and giving it to security or buying of arms when there is a better way of controlling peace and security in your state? I have challenged them. Out of the 500 million of security vote monthly, just give me 1/3 in your state, and you will go to sleep. So we have not gotten our priority right. We are wasting monies in places that have no any value. You are going to buy a motorcycle, you are buying vehicles to give police. When the real people who will help you solve the problem, if you engage them, that will be all.
Honorable Minister, since you mentioned the Olympics, let's just touch on it. 2019 is already here. 2020, we're going to Tokyo. Are we in any way preparing for that?
You see, our own sporting tradition is different from others. In other places, they have already built a profile of athletes. So they choose and pick which of them to use for competition. All that we had was the National Youth Games. And the National Youth Games saved this country greatly. All the medals we got at the African Youth Games were from athletes of the National Youth Games. All the medals we got at the Youth Olympics were from the 3 successive years of the National Youth Games that I run. So that is maybe the data of athletes we have now. But for the professional athletes, the absence of the National Sports Festival denied us of a consolidated professional athlete base, where we can say, okay, we will have to send this particular group for qualification because of their performance. But you know, in the National Sports Festival now, we have performances of each of the athletes.
Okay, so that's it. The Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports are talking about the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, that yes, so much needs to be done. But we're glad that the National Sports Festival is back, because that's one avenue where we get to pick talents and then nurture them and see if they can go on to conquer the world. So, Toby, that's the concluding part of the interview, and it brought some hope.
Yeah, it did. And it also brought a lot of sober reflection for me, because I'd never seen the minister in this light before. And I'm really surprised to see he's so deep into the office. He knows so much about the sports, about the states. He's talking about the strengths of each state and about how each state should be able to, identify their strength. And, he's a fantastic man. And I must say, I'm sorry I'd looked at him in a different light. I'm really enlightened now, and I'm glad I'm on this platform today. He mentioned about the Olympics. To be honest, it's a bit late now to be preparing for 2020 in 2019. But let's just compete, Let's try to get the best legs there, the well-deserved legs, and let them see if they can grab us 1 or 2 medals. Another fantastic point he talked about is the number of medals football will bring you, and the opportunity you have in other sports like swimming and wrestling. It's a no-brainer. Football will give you a medal, and then you invest billions in it, bringing players from all over the world to just for the sport. But in other sports like wrestling, like swimming, you have a wide opportunity, a wide range of medals to fight for, even in weightlifting and whatnot. Yeah. You have a lot of medals there, and no one sees this, and is saying this, and I hope it can be implemented so we can grab this opportunity and finally get gold medals in the Olympics in Tokyo.
Larry, anything to add to that?
Well, I'll play the devil's advocate a little bit and say, yes, football might give you just 1 medal, but for the average Nigerian, the intrinsic value that you get from football winning. I remember Atlanta '96. That was 10 gold medals. And I remember it was 24 gold medals because there were just 23 players on the pitch, including the coach, Bonfrey Joe, at the time. So the intrinsic value, you may not be able to quantify it in terms of the numeracy, but what it gives to you, the feel-good factor that you've won football, which is the king of all sports. But the minister is spot on what exactly he said, that he would rather invest other monies into other sports. He has 44 federations. If he could just invest all of that into wrestling, chess, Scrabble. Nigeria is #1 nation in Scrabble now, right? Other sports, we could do better. Then the traditional sports. He talked about Langa and Dembe, and all
that's
of
how those are so that we
have to adopt one of those sports. I see you do Langa very well.
It's very, very important, because he mentioned sumo, used as a reference.
Very true.
Look at sumo now. It's Japanese traditional wrestling.
Very true.
Which is celebrated worldwide. So that's it. We hope that we'll put all of these talks into action. It shouldn't just be words that will sit on. Let's implement some of it. So that's it. Let's go on this break. When we come back, we'll give time to the English Premier League. Yes, there's some action going down today, so don't go anywhere. Stay.